I am Abdullah Ahil, your host for the evening. Stay tuned. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz ratifies the Prevention of Gang and Other Serious Offenses Act, marking a decisive step in the nation's effort to combat organized crime and gang-related violence. The law replaces the Gang Violence Act, which government officials deemed insufficient in addressing these threats. The new statute formally defines offenses related to gang activity and organized crime, introducing strict penalties while significantly broadening law enforcement authority. It establishes monitoring mechanisms for high-risk individuals and includes provisions to prevent the recruitment of minors into criminal organizations. Structuring its approach around prevention and enforcement, the law aims to dismantle entrenched networks and disrupt their operations. The bill, presented by the government, was passed in Parliament on the 15th of May during the 32nd sitting of the first session of the current parliamentary term. Under its provisions, law enforcement agencies are tasked with identifying gangs and individuals affiliated with them, a step intended to weaken criminal networks and limit their ability to operate. The legislation also authorizes the seizure of illicit assets linked to organized crime, criminalizing financial support for such groups. Law enforcement agencies have been granted expanded power to conduct controlled deliveries and covert operations aimed at dismantling organized crime syndicates. Penalties for involvement in these groups are severe. Operating or establishing one carries a 25-year prison sentence and fines ranging from $12,973.04 to $0.65 million. Assisting or attempting such crimes incurs an 18-year sentence with fines between $6,486.52 and $0.32 million. The law explicitly criminalizes recruitment into organized crime with stiff penalties for those responsible. Recruiting a minor warrants a 25-year sentence and fines between $12,973.04 and $0.65 million, while recruiting an adult carries a 20-year sentence and fines between $6,486.52 and $0.45 million. Additional penalties target individuals facilitating recruitment, participating in criminal organizations, or using private property for illicit activities. Legal entities involved in organized crime, along with their responsible parties, risk dissolution and fines of up to $6.49 million. The new framework grants extensive authority to enforcement agencies, particularly the Maldives Police Service or MPS. Courts may declare wealth unlawfully acquired if individuals linked to organized crime cannot verify its legitimacy, allowing the state to seize such assets. The law further establishes protective measures for individuals vulnerable to gang environments, including electronic tagging through a Monicon order as part of broader supervision and rehabilitation efforts. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz unveils a revised master plan for Hulumale, a sweeping urban development initiative that government officials have described as revolutionary in its scope. Designed to support a growing population while advancing economic expansion, the framework signals the government's commitment to positioning Hulumale as a financial hub. The announcement came at a ceremony in Hulumale Phase 2, where the president officially unveiled the master plan before an audience of senior government figures. Among those in attendance were Minister of Cities, Local Government and Public Works Adam Sharif Umar, Minister of Construction, Housing and Infrastructure Dr. Abdullah Muttalib, and executives from the Housing Development Corporation or HDC. According to the HDC, the revised master plan responds to evolving urban demands by strengthening infrastructure and expanding economic opportunities. It incorporates newly reclaimed land in the lagoon developed following extensive professional consultation to maximize land utilization and align with contemporary urban planning standards. Hulumale, the country's first city conceived under a master plan, has undergone considerable transformation since Phase 1 reclamation efforts began, with settlements starting in 2004. Over the past 2 decades, the urban landscape has shifted dramatically, with Phase 2 now under development and land reclamation progressing for Phase 3. Phase 1 spans 194 hectares and was originally designed for a population of 100,000, while Phase 2 encompasses 251 hectares, projected to accommodate 250,000 residents. Among the most significant revisions is the expansion of the port area, which will grow from 36 hectares to 53 hectares. The updated framework also designates plots for key services, including schools, mosques, and office spaces distributed across residential neighborhoods. The land allocation plan reserves 29.84% for residential use, with schools, mosques, and institutions occupying 10.41%. Commercial zones account for 5.56%, while mixed residential commercial areas are set at 1.44%. Green spaces, sports facilities, and recreational areas represent the largest portion at 30.62%, followed by office spaces at 3.64% and industrial activity at 5.76%. Additional urban enhancements include 11 new connections linking Hulumale Phase 2 and 3 designed to improve transit between the two areas. Land has also been earmarked for the Binveria housing project, reflecting the government's broader efforts to accommodate residents through structured development. The revised master plan introduces financial, tourism, cultural, recreational, and event spaces, reinforcing efforts to establish Hulumale as a diversified economic center. President Dr. Mohamed Muiz and First Lady Sajida Mohammed officially inaugurates the Makkah Route Initiative for Maldives Hajj pilgrims. Under a directive from Saudi King Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud, the Maldives has been granted an exemption from standard eligibility criteria, allowing the country to participate in the program. President Dr. Muiz and First Lady Sajida inaugurated the initiative during a special ceremony held at Valena International Airport, or VIA, with Lieutenant General Sulaiman bin Abdul Aziz Al Yahya, chairman of Saudi Arabia's Makkah Route Initiative Committee and advisor to the Saudi Minister of Interior, along with senior officials from the Saudi Hajj Ministry, Immigration, and the Foreign Ministry in attendance. As part of the official inauguration, President Dr. Muiz presented the passport to the first pilgrim utilizing the Makkah Route Initiative, while the First Lady presented the passport to the second pilgrim, followed by Al Yahya presenting the third, and Saudi Chargé d'Affaires to the Maldives Fahad Al Dosari with the fourth. After the ceremony, the President and First Lady met with local Hajj pilgrims departing to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia decided to include the Maldives in the Makkah Route Initiative on the 10th of May. The Makkah Route Initiative is scheduled to commence on the 26th of May, aligning with the departure of the first batch of Maldivian pilgrims for Hajj. This special initiative, launched under the leadership of King Salman bin Abdul Aziz and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, is designed to streamline travel and immigration procedures for pilgrims, providing a smoother and more convenient Hajj experience from the point of departure. According to the Ministry of Islamic Affairs, the inclusion of the Maldives in the Makkah Route Initiative reflects the strong and growing bilateral ties between Saudi Arabia and the Maldives. It also marks a significant milestone achieved under the leadership of President Dr. Muiz, further strengthening the nation's Islamic and diplomatic engagements. Benefits of the Makkah Route Initiatives for pilgrims ensures that biometrics data of the pilgrims is collected, electronic pilgrimage visas are issued, and the necessary health and safety measures are taken. At Valena International Airport, the luggage of pilgrims will be tagged at the departure terminal, registered, and boarding passes will be issued immediately. Through the terminal's special passport team, all necessary arrangements for entry into Saudi Arabia will be completed before the pilgrims leave their country. Upon arrival at the designated terminal at the Saudi Arabia airport, immediate transfer to the hotel arranged for the pilgrims will be arranged. Without waiting at the arrival terminal, the luggage will be delivered directly to the hotel where the pilgrims are staying. President Dr. Mohamed Muiz hails this year's Hajj season as the most convenient and enhanced travel experience for Maldivian pilgrims in its history. President Dr. Muiz made these remarks on his social media platform after the first group of pilgrims from the Maldives arrived in Saudi Arabia under the Makkah Route Initiative. As part of the Pilgrim Experience program of Saudi Vision 2030, this initiative allows Maldivian pilgrims to proceed directly to their accommodations upon arrival in Saudi Arabia, thereby significantly enhancing their travel experience. The president said that unlike previous years, Maldivian pilgrims would not have to wait for long to clear immigration and baggage at the Saudi airport. He said such arrangements and facilities provided under this initiative, this year's Hajj will improve the quality of services provided to all Maldivian pilgrims in Saudi Arabia. The president in his post expressed hope that the services would be even better in the future, while thanking the Saudi government for their excellent arrangements afforded to Maldivian pilgrims. President Dr. Muiz and First Lady Sajida Mohammed had officially inaugurated the Makkah Route Initiative for Maldives Hajj pilgrims on May 26th. This special initiative, launched under the leadership of King Salman bin Abdulaziz and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, is designed to streamline travel and immigration procedures for pilgrims, providing a smoother and more convenient Hajj experience from the point of departure. According to the Ministry of Islamic Affairs, the inclusion of the Maldives in the Makkah Route Initiative reflects the strong and growing bilateral ties between Saudi Arabia and the Maldives. It also marks a significant milestone achieved under the leadership of President Dr. Muiz, further strengthening the nation's Islamic and diplomatic engagements. Senior delegates from Saudi Arabia begin arriving in the Maldives for the official launch of the Makkah Route Initiative for Maldivian Hajj pilgrims. One of the delegations arrived on Friday afternoon, who were welcomed at the Valena International Airport, or VIA, by the Minister of Islamic Affairs Dr. Muhammad Shahim Ali Saeed and officials of the Saudi Embassy in Maldives. The delegation includes senior officials from the Saudi Ministry of Hajj, Saudi Immigration, Saudi Foreign Ministry, and the Makkah Route Initiative. A total of 42 senior officials from the Saudi Ministry of Hajj, Foreign Ministry, and Immigration are scheduled to attend the ceremony. Minister Dr. Shahim said the delegation is led by Lieutenant General Sulaiman bin Abdulaziz Al Yahya, chairman of the Makkah Route Initiative Committee and advisor to the Saudi Interior Minister. The Makkah Route Initiative will be officially launched for Maldivian Hajj pilgrims during a ceremony on the 26th of May by President Dr. Mohammed Muiz. Minister Shahim said that Maldives was included in the Makkah Route Initiative under a special directive of the Saudi King Salman bin Abdulaziz. The minister said that with the launch, pilgrims will not have to wait to clear immigration and baggage collection at Jeddah Airport. He said pilgrims can disembark and go directly to the hotel where their luggage will be delivered. Saudi Arabia decided to include the Maldives in the Makkah Route Initiative on the 10th of May. The Makkah Route Initiative is scheduled to commence on the 26th of May, aligning with the departure of the first batch of Maldivian pilgrims for Hajj. This special initiative, launched under the leadership of King Salman bin Abdulaziz and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, is designed to streamline travel and immigration procedures for pilgrims, providing a smoother and more convenient Hajj experience from the point of departure. According to the Ministry of Islamic Affairs, the inclusion of the Maldives in the Makkah Route Initiative reflects the strong and growing bilateral ties between Saudi Arabia and the Maldives. It also marks a significant milestone achieved under the leadership of President Dr. Mohammed Muiz, further strengthening the nation's Islamic and diplomatic engagements. Benefits of the Makkah Route Initiative for pilgrims ensures that biometric data of the pilgrims is collected, electronic pilgrimage visas are issued, and the necessary health and safety measures are taken. At Valena International Airport, the luggage of pilgrims will be tagged at the departure terminal, registered, and boarding passes will be issued immediately. Through the terminal special passport team, all necessary arrangements for entry into Saudi Arabia will be completed before the pilgrims leave their country. Upon arrival at the designated terminal at the Saudi Arabia airport, immediate transfer to the hotel are arranged for the pilgrims. Without waiting at the arrival terminal, the luggage will be delivered directly to the hotel where the pilgrims are staying. Regional Airports Company Limited, or RACL, Managing Director Ahmed Mobeen says the new passenger terminal at Hanimadu International Airport will be completed by July. The entire modernization project is expected to be completed by the end of this year, as the project entails several other upgrades to the airport. The project, launched in January 2023, is being executed by JMC Projects India. Alongside the runway and terminal, construction includes a utility building, fuel farm, and airport jetty. The airport development includes the construction of a 2.46-kilometer runway, enabling larger aircraft such as Airbus A320s and Boeing 737s to land. The construction of the new runway began in January 2023 as part of the Hanimadu International Airport redevelopment project. The runway itself was the first major focus, with a new length of 2,465 meters. However, due to conflicts between the old and new runways, the first phase of the project developed a 1,200-meter section of the new runway, which was opened on January 28th of this year. While the previous runway could accommodate 150-seater aircraft, the new runway is designed to handle larger planes with capacities of 250 to 300 passengers. The project is valued at $136.6 million and is one of the largest in the atolls of the country. The airport is expected to handle up to 1.3 million passengers annually and accommodate Airbus A320 and Boeing 737 aircraft for international flights, enabling direct routes to Hanhimadou from around the world. The Hanhimadou International Airport development is closely linked with the tourism industry and the economy of the atoll, promising significant regional benefits upon completion. Providing the latest update on the project, Mubin told PSM News that 83% of the entire project has been completed. Relevant government agencies are working round the clock to expedite the project, he said, adding that more than 800 staff are working on the airport project. The structure of the terminal, the design inspired by the Manta Array at Hanhimadou International Airport, is almost complete. The two-story terminal building's lowest floor is reserved for domestic flights. The first floor will be used for international flights. The first aero bridge used in an airport in the atolls will also be located in Hanhimadou Airport with 2 gates on each floor. Under the second phase of development, a seaplane terminal is also planned for Hanhimadou Airport. Maldives' gross domestic product, or GDP, rises to $575.9 million in March this year, marking an increase of 0.4% compared to the same period last year. Monthly indicators of economic growth, or MIEG, published the Maldives Bureau of Statistics, or MBS, provides a high-frequency measure of economic activity, offering timely insights into the current state of the Maldivian economy. They are conceptually similar to GDP in volume terms and provide information on key components of economic production, while these indicators capture major industrial and economic activities using a production approach, aligned with international methodologies. According to the report, public administration contributed the most to GDP growth with 1.4%, followed by real estate with 0.8% and human health and social work activities registering 0.4%. These sectors were the main engines of growth during this period, while in contrast with the negative contributions from fisheries, negative 1.3%, and construction, negative 0.3%, and manufacturing, negative 0.3%. In March 2025, accommodation and food services remained the largest contributor, holding a percentage share of 24.1%, which was followed by transportation and communication at 13.1% and real estate at 9%. On the other hand, the lowest contributors in March 2025 are from professional, scientific, and technical activities and agriculture, both of which continue to represent relatively minor, but both sectors are stable within the overall economy. The MBS releases a monthly estimate for GDP with a 45-day lag following the reference month and is subject to revisions in subsequent publications and with the release of the quarterly GDP. Maldives Monetary Authority, or MMA, figures shows that the Maldives has recorded an increase in tourist occupancy rate during the first quarter of the year. MMA's quarterly business survey, or QBS, for the first quarter of 2025 said activity in the tourism sector continued to expand, albeit at a slower pace, according to the tourism businesses responding to the survey. The survey shows that the occupancy rate of the tourism industry increased by 8% in the first quarter of this year compared to the last quarter of 2024. Labor market indicators for the tourism sector also continued to expand in terms of employment in the first quarter of 2025, with an 8% increase, while wages and other labor costs per employee index climbed by 4% during the review quarter. The QBS report shows that the financial position of the tourism industry also improved in the first quarter. The company's financial position increased by 3% in the first quarter of this year compared to the same quarter last year. Overall, the tourism industry has performed remarkably well so far this year, coinciding with the sustained increase in the number of tourist arrivals to the Maldives. As of the 20th of May, a total of 923,390 tourists had holidayed in the Maldives as opposed to the 854,928 tourists during the same period last year, marking an 8% increase. Maldivian Ambassador to Saudi Arabia, Ahmad Sarir, says the inclusion of the Maldives in Saudi Arabia's Makkah Route initiative marks a significant milestone in strengthening diplomatic relations between Male and Riyadh. He hailed the decision as a testament to the robust and deepening bilateral ties between the two nations.
Structured to streamline Hajj pilgrims' process, the initiative is typically extended only to nations that send at least 20,000 pilgrims annually. The Maldives, however, secured entry under a special arrangement bypassing the usual volume criteria. Minister of Islamic Affairs Dr. Muhammad Shaheen Ali Saeed described this inclusion as a significant privilege from Saudi Arabia granted without a formal agreement. In Jeddah, where he welcomed the first group of Maldivian pilgrims benefiting from the program, Ambassador Sarir underscored the significance of the new arrangement. The initiative, he said, has provided substantial improvement in accessibility to Maldivian pilgrims, who express exceptional satisfaction with the quality of services and logistical support offered. Ambassador Sarir noted that the Makkah Route initiative is reserved for nations maintaining exceptionally strong diplomatic ties with Saudi Arabia. The swift implementation of the program in the Maldives, he argued, reflects the depth of the bilateral relationship. According to Ambassador Sarir, Saudi immigration officials had previously indicated that participation in the initiative is typically extended only to nations with well-established logistical frameworks. He recalled discussions earlier this year in which Maldivian officials presented their consistently well-managed pilgrim travel infrastructure, prompting special consideration for inclusion. Part of Saudi Arabia's broader Vision 2030 strategy, the Makkah Route initiative seeks to modernize public services while contributing to economic diversification. Among its principal advantages is the completion of Saudi immigration procedures within the Maldives, eliminating lengthy processing times upon arrival in Jeddah and streamlining travel logistics. This year, 1,000 Maldivians will undertake the pilgrimage, with the first flight departing Mali on Monday afternoon, carrying 234 passengers under the newly established arrangements.
India's High Commissioner to the Maldives, G. Balasubramanian, says the Maldives and India share a long-standing relationship built on mutual trust and confidence. In an exclusive interview with PSM News, describing bilateral ties as a deep-rooted and enduring partnership, he underscored the strength of diplomatic and economic cooperation between the two nations.
One of India's most significant contributions to the Maldives' development, according to the High Commissioner, is the Greater Male Connectivity Project, a key initiative aimed at enhancing regional infrastructure. Within this project, the Thili Male Bridge, set to link Male with Tilafushi, stands out as a major undertaking, said High Commissioner Balasubramanian. He expressed confidence in the project's timeline, reaffirming India's role in advancing economic growth through large-scale infrastructure investments. The High Commissioner also reflected on President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu's visit to India last year, calling it historic. The high-level diplomatic engagement, he noted, laid the groundwork for closer bilateral cooperation, with ongoing efforts to translate the vision document signed between President Muizzu and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi into actionable policies. These agreements, he added, are designed to deepen strategic ties and drive joint initiatives forward. Beyond infrastructure, India continues to invest in human capital development across the Maldives. The High Commissioner pointed to 300 scholarships being offered to Maldivian students, supporting skill enhancement and educational opportunities in diverse sectors. This initiative, he said, underscores India's broader commitment to fostering growth through knowledge and expertise. As both nations look ahead, High Commissioner Balasubramanian expressed confidence that Maldives-India relations will continue to strengthen, with collaboration expanding across diplomatic, economic, and educational spheres.
The Chief Executive Officer or CEO of Male Group of Hospitals, Ibrahim Abdul Razzaq Halim, says a total of 194 beds have been added to the main government hospitals, Indira Gandhi Memorial Hospital or RGMH and Dharmavanta Hospital, over the past 1.5 years.
Abdul Razzaq Halim made the remark while speaking at a ceremony held to inaugurate the newly established multi-speciality surgical wing at IGMH on May 27th. In his address, he highlighted the significant developments achieved at both hospitals in recent years. He noted the establishment of a special emergency room for children at IGMH and a national fertility center at Dharmavanta Hospital, offering IVF treatments. He added that the Operation Theatre complex at IGMH and the cath lab at Dharmawant Hospital have also been brought into service. Highlighting statistics, the CEO Ibrahim Abdul Razak Halim said that when the IGMH opened in 1995, there were 186 beds to serve a population of 62,000 people. He said by 2023, the hospital was operating with 310 beds to over 212,000 people, with just 130 beds added in the last 30 years. Abdul Razak Halim said in comparison, 119 beds were added to Dharmawant Hospital and IGMH in the last year alone. With the addition of 75 beds on May 27th, the total number of beds available at the hospitals has now increased to 510, he noted. He said the IGMH is already providing 32 multi-speciality services. He revealed that bypass surgery and interventional radiology services will also be launched this year. In addition to the infrastructural development of the hospitals, he said human resource strengthening is also being carried out. He said over the past 6 years, recruitment approval has been granted for 411 new employees, most of whom have already joined the workforce.
And that's all we have for now. Thank you for watching 168 Hours. See you next time.